Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're going through another one of the little records that the label Underground Syndicate sent over. So, cheers again, bruv. And today we're looking at the EP compilation from France's own Indicible. Look at that, pretty cool, isn't it? Eh? Now, this has got their self-titled EP and their ODTS, which I believe stands for, L'Ordre du Temple Solaire. I don't know what that means, but who knows? Who knows? Either way, happy little thing there. So we got 9 tracks, including an intro. So pretty good. Sort of amount of content on there. We'll get into the do's and don'ts in a minute, as it were. So no lyrics or nothing like that, which is fine. You know, there's a close-up of them. They're a pretty lot, give them that. But that's the French for you. Ants and bastards left, right and centre over there. You can't move from them. And there they are again there. I don't know if you can see that properly or not. Now the tape itself is very, very cool. Look at this, look. Ooh, yeah, it's got that whole kind of full print thing going on, which is always pretty cool. And then on the other side, look, you got the whole thing. So yeah, they call it ODTS. It feels a bit sticky as well, which is a little odd, but it is what it is. What can you do? Plays all right, so that's the main thing, isn't it? Now, this again isn't really my cup of tea because I'm just not into deathcore and stuff like that. Now, the other day when I was doing Enmity, I was like, oh, I can't really pin down what kind of genre you'd call that, be it metalcore or whatever. But this is definitely sort of slam-infused deathcore with like groove metal thrown in. So not my bag, but if you're into that sort of stuff, this might be right up your street, son. Or lady, whichever. So, if you're into bands, I suppose, like, I don't know, Hellwrath, sort of early Job for a Cowboy, so I don't know what the later stuff sounds like. You know, that kind of ilk, you know, maybe sort of like that Tesseract thing. My mate likes them. And I've heard, like, bits chopping through here and there. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not really an expert on this kind of music, or any kind of music for that matter. But yeah, it's definitely very modern, very clean production, very you know, what you'd probably hear in maybe like a tattoo shop where they've all got those big stretchers and stuff, you know, yeah, that kind of stuff, you know, all good, all cool. So Indicible might be for you. Now, musically, I did prefer this to Enmity, no offense boys, because this had parts of it where I was like, that sounds pretty cool. But for the most part, it was just very dun, 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 sort of thing going on. You know what I mean? And again, it's got that industrial kind of waka 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 thing going on in the background. So I told you, sound effects galore we've got over here. The drumming, however, fantastic. Probably the standout musician for me on the record. They're all good musicians, don't get me wrong. You know, great vocals, all that. But the drumming particularly stood out to me. You know, it's got lots of really cool feels and stuff like that. Really cool. And I also liked on the, what was it again? ODTS, the title track. It gets to this bit where it slows down and then the bass just starts bleeding in. And it's just this really cool sort of little, I don't know, it just comes with this little rumble of the bass, and it really sits well in the mix really nicely. Only complaint really about the ODTS is that the snare drum is just an incy bit too quiet in places. You know, it's sort of really bled into the music. I think the first EP is better than the second one. The first one I think is definitely heavier and a bit more. It leans more towards a sort of slam part than it does deathcore, whereas on the next release, ODTS, is that what it's called? Yeah, ODTS is vice versa. You know, it's more deathcore than it is slam and stuff. But I think the production's better on the first record, just all round heavier. You know, the second one and the second one's really compressed. Like the production isn't as good. Like it sounds too modern to the point where it loses a lot of the dynamics, I think. Whereas on the first one, the first EP is really. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say the first EP ain't bad. Like for my taste, sort of thing. Again, it's got a lot of stuff there that I'm not really into. But if it was on, I wouldn't be like bitching and moaning about it. It's just not for my taste. But if it sounds like something you guys are into, then definitely worth picking up, I reckon, because I feel like it might have some staying power to it. You know, one of those bands that they could do pretty well if they stick at it. They just need to stop using the phrase old school death metal, because so many of these bands are doing that these days. And I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody, but the same as other guys, like on their Spotify account, like, oh yeah, we're old school death metal with modern influences. You're not. I'm sorry, you're just not. It's just who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to appeal to? You know what I mean? It's just say what you are. There's no shame in being a deathcore band. You know, it ain't for me, but mate, have you seen how big the audience is for deathcore? They must be doing something right. You know, so Indicible from France. This is the self-titled. So yeah, I think the first EP is self-titled. Second one is called ODTS. But as a whole, this compilation is just self-titled, as you can see on the side. So cool stuff from France. Not my bag, but if any of that stuff sounds like your cup of tea, get right on it. It's got the low tunings, really cool drumming, heavy distorted bass. The guitars are just very drop, 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 and they really do cut in, and the vocals are really cool. You know, there's that very sort of just low sort of belly growls going on, you know. So if that's your bag, Indicible is definitely for you. So cheers for watching and stay tuned for part 3 of my top 50. Support the underground, bust a nut.